Hello, my wonderful artists, and welcome back to today's edition of art class. Today we are going to go over how to do page 1 and 2 in our art book, which is kind of the beginning of our first unit, which is going to be an amazing drawing that you're going to do. So this will help us with that. With that project. So let's get started today. When you open your art book up, you're going to see page 1 looks like this. This is my art book. So this is just a fun way to start off. And the neat thing about this page is it teaches us a couple things that most people don't really think about because our computers do things for us. It's called typeface, or what we know as fonts. So let me zoom in here and show you what I'm talking about. The top of page 1 has 3 large arrows, and it says, this arrow, the top one, says this is a serif typeface. Serifs on top of our letters. What I mean there is a serif can be any fancy, some people put dots, those are called serifs. Some people, a document that you are trying, there are serif and typeface. It's like cursive writing. So ART is really cool. Cursive is something that not many of you do anymore. It's still very, if we're going to do art, you could do art faster than is connected together except for crossing the T or dotting your I. All right, so our last one is called sans serif. And this is a sans serif typeface, pointing to the word book. It has plain line letters. So sans actually means without in Latin. So if you write sans hyphen serif, it just means without fancy, basically, or plain. So the typical typefaces when people want to advertise but they don't want a super fancy font is Arial on your in Google Docs. When you type something up, Arial is a very good typeface to have because it doesn't have serifs at all. So the word book or art, if you print it, that is sans serif. So now that you know how to do this, we're going to come over to this part of your book, and on the bottom it said here are your directions for the page. Read the entire page, follow all the directions and do what is asked, and color the entire page with crayons, color pencils, or markers. So here we go. It says to read serif letters. Serif is face with my pencil, giving a little curve there with the O, and sans serif. And then the last name in script nickname that gave me, or the joke, you how to draw a line. Just drew a picture of myself, and so I don't recommend a marker unless it doesn't bleed through. I am going to zoom out a little so you can see what I'm doing in the whole space. Alright, so I'm going to give, I'm just going to start adding color. Now the one thing that's really cool about colored pencils is that the colored pencils, if you press down a little harder on them, you're going to find that you can get some super duper bold colors. And this homework, speaking of adding color, a lot of times students don't enjoy coloring, and I get it. That's okay, but I do want you to try your best and, you know, experiment with different types of colors that maybe you wouldn't typically put together, or colors that you think look really nice together. Coloring is something nice to do for you to relax. I often put music on when I'm coloring, and it helps me focus. It's hard to concentrate with music doing math for me, but as far as art and coloring, or painting. Music is a nice touch. So you're going to continue to color this entire page as neat as possible, minimizing the white space to 5% of this page to get 50 points, and make sure you followed all the directions at the bottom. I will show you some examples in our Google slide of students who've done an excellent job with the finishing of the coloring and earning all 50 points. So the second part of your assignment today is actually going to be on page 2, and this is why I don't recommend markers, because what you're going to do here is you are going to just complete the bottom portion of this page. And there's not a lot of awesome directions here, so I will walk you through that right now. So you have two things that I want you to do. The first one is your awesome shoe design. People are making tons of money getting custom shoes made. If you look at like NFL or NBA players, they actually hire artists to custom paint their shoes. And there's actually a student that went to Cleveland Hill. His name was Nash Craft, and Nash, I believe this is what he does for a living, or he did a couple of years ago when I found out. So I thought that was really, really neat that, this is something. So you're going to design a shoe. And I would prefer it in color, but I understand that you're not going to be able to always add color to a shoe design. So maybe you want to do your shoe with just stripes or polka dots, or add to it, like if you want to do a unicorn horn or a rhinoceros horn that looks like a rhino horn. That'd be kind of cool, actually. You can do kind of like cool flames off the back. You could put lights on it that blink. So this is just a template for you to get really fun and creative with what you want to do. And then once you are satisfied with your shoe, you're going to add color and make it look amazing. So you're making your own shoe design there just for fun. The last part of page 1 and 2 is a logo. And a lot of students don't know what a logo is. A logo is a symbol or emblem that represents a person, entity, designers here. An entity is like a company. So let me give you some examples of logos, and then I think you'll get it really fast. So I'm just going to take the back of this page and I'm going to draw some logos here. You'll probably get it really fast. So the first logo that most of you will know if you go here or not. Yep, it's the golden arches in McDonald's. So obviously it would be yellow, and the background would be red. So our logo, and then what does that logo mean? What does it illustrate? It illustrates fast food, convenience. It illustrates unhealthiness, although they do have healthy options sometimes. So McDonald's is a place that as a child, your grandparents might take you there, or you go there once a week just because you have hockey or baseball or soccer or football. So your parents take you just because they don't have a lot of time to make a home-cooked meal, and that's okay because we all do it. All right, let's try this one. See if you get this. I bet you will. You see these all the time. Yep, most of you got it before I finished drawing it. This is Facebook. So what does this little F that with a blue background mean? It means social media. It means connecting with people that you don't always see face to face all the time, and communication, posting pictures of family, or just having a nice connection. So that's what the F means. So you probably can think of a whole bunch of apps on your phone, like Twitter, that little tiny logo represents a whole big thing. Let's do a couple more. All right, what do we have here? You got it. It's recycle. Recycle, reuse. The three arrows that are in a triangle represent reusing something that could potentially not just sit in a landfill and take up space and waste space. So the recycle logo enables companies and people to understand that means we can reuse an object and give it another purpose somehow, some way. So recycle. All right, last one. This will you'll probably get really fast. Nike. Nike is the symbol that represents athletic apparel. It represents sneakers. It represents anything to do with movement. This symbol was created by Bill Bowerman, who made Nike company, and I believe he's from Oregon, and he worked with a lot of athletes at Oregon State. So and Nike is a Greek god too, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So really neat logo. So you're going to design your own logo here, and it's going to be a little tricky because you got to think of like, what are you about? So for me, what I'm about is something that I really enjoy is just kind of like doodling sort of mindlessly, not competing, not trying to make my artwork look better than anyone else's, just kind of like a doodle. So, and then my doodles kind of like morph and change into other things. So I use a lot of like curve lines and colors. So swirls. So I'm going to put just a couple line designs, simple line designs that maybe this logo would represent. And because I like things very colorful, I would add color to this. This is not only who I am as an artist or a person who makes art. A common symbol for art is just a paintbrush, or these things called a palette. Even though we don't typically use palettes like this per se in middle school, this is a classic symbol of an art teacher. So this is going to be my logo. I'm just drawing it out. Another thing is I like animals, or like I have a dog, a very old puppy at home. He's 15, so I'll put just a quick sketch if you're an animal lover. The SPCA has a logo. Just a quick, and see how I'm kind of like combining things. And I like to coach or be outside, so maybe I could do like a whistle as part of my logo, even though I don't use a whistle very often. When I coach, I have one. So there. And then what I would do is I would make my logo, I would just add a lot of color to it and make it really bold and beautiful. So this is your assignment. I hope you enjoyed just kind of sketching or watching what I was making today. I want you to come up with your own awesome logo and add full bold color. I want you to come up with your super cool creative shoe design. Impress me. Come up with something super unique and fun that you love, and then full bold color on here. Finish up your art book, and I can't wait to see what your pictures look like. So be creative, have fun. As always, let me know if you have any questions. You're going to take 2 pictures and put these in Google Classroom if you're my distance learning class. If you're my hybrid students, stay tuned. I will tell you how to submit your work. All right, thanks for joining me. Have a great day.